Yeah. Now that we know the pricing and the way the payoffs can be computed in case of options, we'll have to see how do I keep combinations of various options. In which scenario I will create what combination. Let's say my objective is get a benefit on volatility, high fluctuations either upward or downward. Or if my objective is okay, the stock prices will go down in future, what combination will give me what kind of a profit, and in which combination the profit is more, in which combination the profits are lesser, or in which combination the risk is more, which combination the loss is lesser. All these kind of things we are trying to evaluate using the various strategies, and this chapter has actually integrated some 15-20 strategies on the different options combinations. And probably what we can do is we'll take those numbers and we'll try to work out how each of these things are going to come out, even the shapes of each of these strategies, and in which case you are getting profit and in which case these are landing up into losses. The first of the two, one being a protective put strategy and one being a covered call, where only one call option or one put option is coming into picture. So these two strategies have only one call option or one put option considered along with a share. You have a share with you, you have a share with you, and along with that, you take a put option. Right before that, if I think we should be comfortable. Buying a call option will have a graph like this, right? Selling a call option will have a graph like this. Buying a put and selling a put. Simple way to look out. Okay, I'll use the spreadsheet across. Okay. Okay. The way we evaluate these kind of strategies is very simple. Let's say if I'm going for a buy a call, and okay, I'll put up one from the market itself. Probably will take a 3,000 bucks call. Call for a strike price of 3,000. Okay, call for a strike price of 3,000. So I will assume now. And what is the premium that was involved for it? 49.9. Okay, I'll take these three scenarios outrightly from the market. 49.9. Now, for me to understand how it is moving, what I will do is I will assume some different prices on 29th August. If I assume the price on 29th August, market price, and probably I'll call it as profit. If I assume some, probably if we practice a few of this, it becomes quite comfortable for us to do any kind of a strategy. Right from probably 2.8, I'll start off 2,800, 2,850, 2,900, like this. I assume if at all the stock price goes to any of these numbers, some 200 below, 200 above, I'll take all scenarios. Okay, now let's see here. Because we are buying a call, we are paying 49.9 to the other party. At any cost, we are paying 49.9 to the other party. So the loss directly is to the extent of 49.9. Are we clear on this? Okay. Now, if the market price is 2,800 on that day, will I exercise the call or expire the call? Expire. Because the call is to buy the share at 3,000 on that day. But the market price is only 2,800 on that day. So I will expire the call. So obviously my loss is to the extent of 49.9. Whatever the premium I have paid is the loss. What about 2850? Same scenario. I'll expire it. Okay. What about this? Same. I'll expire this also because I can buy it here at 29. I don't need to buy it in the contract at 3000. Same here also. Fine. What about 3000? Same. Doesn't matter whether I buy from the market or from this person. There is no benefit for me. Okay. So this also the loss is 49.9. Here tell me what could be the difference. 50 rupees is the profit. If the market price goes to 3050, I will not buy it from the market. I will buy it from the contract. From the contract, there is an assurance that I can buy at 3000, which means I am getting a 50 rupees profit there. 50 rupees profit, 49.9 I am already losing. So there is a 0.1 profit altogether. 50 minus 49.9. What about 31? 50.1, because I am getting a 100 rupees profit here. 49.9 is always gone. Here I am getting a 100 profit. Look at it like this when you prepare any graph. Right? So 50.1 is the profit you are getting. The same logic I will put here. 100.1 and 150.1. Are we clear on this? So probably you can just plot a graph between these two. We'll simply plot a graph between these two. This is the typical graph that we are getting. So this is the graph that we are typically getting, which is for buying a simple call option. Okay, this is the graph for buying a simple call option. Now what you are seeing, the profit is unlimited. It's going up and up. It's showing an uppish movement, but the loss is limited. So this is the shape of buying a call option. Typically, we need to be very clear in terms of what are the typical shapes of each of the strategies. So what are the things you can draw from this? Probably my maximum loss is 49.9. The maximum profit is unlimited, right? And what is my break even point here? Where am I actually breaking even? 3000, 3049.9, which is the 3000, which is the strike price plus whatever is the premium, because that is your total loss. Only if the market goes above that, you are starting to make a profit. Until that time, you have a loss. But at least up to 3000, your loss is full 49.9. But from 3000 onwards, your loss is slightly reducing. But your profit is starting from above 3049.9 and above. So this is how your typical movement is coming out. Correct? So now this is, I mean, if once we always think of it from a buyer standpoint itself, because from a seller standpoint, if someone, because buyer is having an option to back out, seller is not having an option to back out. Seller of option, writer of option, not the underlying. Seller of underlying can take a put option, but seller of the option is the guy who is receiving the premium. So the simple logic is the guy who is, if you make a graph from the perspective of a person who is receiving the premium, the opposite will be the graph for a person who is paying the premium, or who is receiving the premium. If you analyze it from the person who is paying the premium, who can back out, the mirror reflection above the x-axis is the graph for a person who is paying the premium. which is as good as if these are his profitabilities. The negatives will be the profitabilities for the seller of the call. So for the seller of the call, his graph is going to be something like this. So probably in the same graph, if I put the seller also, seller of a call, his graph is more like this, which is a mirror reflection to the buyer of the call. So at least, so because from a seller standpoint, if you are doing it, the suggestion for you is, first thing is he is getting the premium. So that's a profit for him. Second, immediately shift yourself from a buyer standpoint, where he will back out, where he will exercise. If he is backing out, you have no loss as a seller. But if he is exercising, there is a loss for you. Because he will exercise only when he is having a benefit. So there is a loss for the seller. So that has to be looked at from any kind of an evaluation standpoint. Fine. Now let's start looking at the strategies. So this is a simple strategies in terms of just buy call, sell call. The same logic you can use for buy put, sell put. But now let's execute some of the better, some of these mentioned strategies. So a protective put, right? Okay, let me use a protective put kind of a strategy. What is this protective put strategy? We are saying you are going long on the stock, which means you are buying a share plus long put. You are buying one share, you are buying one put option. Okay, what is that put option? Let's take 3000 ka put option. If it is 3000 ka put option, at what price is it available in the market? 59 bucks. Okay, so right now I'll take it as 59 bucks for the put option. All right, and what is the share available at? 2985.3. So today I am buying one share at 2985.3 and the put option at that much. Okay, so let's make a scenario here. If the stock price is going for any of these, so if you just plan out this kind of a move, it becomes a lot more comfortable to evaluate anything. Okay, so 2008, so assume that these are the market prices on 29th, right? These are the market prices on 29th. Okay, so because you have a so the way you can look at it is premium. Across you are losing 59 because you are buying a put option. For stock there is no premium, so don't bother about that part. But for a put option there is a premium, and because you are long on the put, you are paying a premium. You can do it step by step, because the most common questions that come up from options is these kind of questions itself. So you can very well say, okay, I will lose 59 for each of these scenarios. Okay, premium wise, there is a loss of 59, no issues. Now, look at the stock. You have purchased the stock at 2985. If the market price goes to 28, is it a profit or a loss on your stock? Loss. It's a loss worth that difference, because we are not talking of option here. Only purely we have purchased a share at 2985 and we are seeing if the market price goes to any of these things, is it a profit or is it a loss? Assume a virtual selling. Assume a virtual selling and note down whether it is a profit or a loss. This is a loss here.